Before I show this video to you guys, I am extremely sorry for the thunder that's outside because it was a nice bright sunny day, nice Bombay day, and I decided to shoot the video, and the second, I swear to God, the second this video shooting began, it started to rain, and now it's just not stopping, so just exclude that. And it is a big bad world out there, and if you want to survive, then you need a stellar resume so that universities can accept you and employers can hire you. So keep watching. Hey guys, this video is about developing a stellar resume to survive in the big bad world, as I so nicely put forth before. So let's get into it. First things first, what do you need to develop a resume? Microsoft Word or Google Docs so that you can actually type up a document. Please don't handwrite your resume. No, that's not pretty. Don't do that. And yeah, take writing a resume seriously. Very, very seriously. First things first, you need a title. A title can be as simple as resume. Make sure to use a simple font. I would prefer Times New Roman with a font size of 12, and because it's the title, if you underline or bold it, that would be a great idea. I personally don't like underlining, so I just make the title bold and I leave it there, and I write resume in all caps so that it sort of stands out that okay, this is what the document is about. After that, using the same font, the same bold style and all caps, I write my name, Nandini Gupta. That's what you should do. Blah blah or blah blah blah. Your name. After that, I would suggest writing your current address. My current address is Bombay because I am not in New York where my actual university is because of the whole corona and quarantine drama. So write your address, A1801 blah 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 blah, whatever your current address is. I would suggest not making this line all caps but still making it bold, because that's one of the ways in which your future employers or admissions officers can seek you out. After that, I would suggest writing your mobile or cell phone number, +91 or whatever, and your full number. If you have two mobile numbers with a dual SIM, I would suggest writing the one that you most frequently use, or you can just write both of them. It's up to you. After that, I would suggest writing your email in the same line, because remember, a resume is ideally supposed to be only 2 pages, and by 2 pages I mean front and back. I don't mean 4 sides like this, just front and back, even though my resume is longer than that, but I would suggest it to be just 2 sides. So write your email address. Make sure your email address is your professional email address, the one that you regularly access and check, because responding to emails in a fast manner is very, very important. If you have 2 email addresses, for example, your universities or schools and your other professional email address, I would suggest writing just your professional email address, because you will lose control. Not control. You will lose your university or school's email address quite soon, in a couple of years. So either write both or at least write your professional email address. Next, if you have a website, which I so strongly suggest making, please put down the URL. Mine is nandini0526.quicksite.com/website. This video is not sponsored by Wix, but it is a great software for developing websites, especially for people like me who have like no experience making websites at all. It's very user friendly. So if you're thinking of making a website or already have one but want to change it a bit, I would definitely recommend Wix. And I would also definitely recommend having a website, because in your resume, remember, your resume is just a simple document which basically blatantly just states what activities you've done and what are your accomplishments and other achievements. It does not describe them. Your website or your other portfolio items, which could be literally anything, documents, arts, videos, anything, photographs, they are the ones that actually represent your work. This is just listing, but remember, listing is important too, so that you can keep track and they can keep track of what you've been up to. After all the initial details, I would recommend writing your education down first. So you write education, make that bold, and sort of add a thin line below education. This makes the whole resume really distinct. It makes it pop out. It makes it very crystal clear, and employers and admissions officers, they love things that are neat and nicely organized, so that they don't have to sort of scatter through a bunch of information that is not organized and not nicely put. So definitely make your resume as neat as possible, even if you don't want to follow this particular format. After that, I write New York University. got accepted into New York University, New York as a class of 2024. That is written below the New York University line because that's sort of sub-information that gets the employers to know that I was quite recently accepted, and this is the most updated version of my education. You will also notice that I sort of put this date beside my line and the year is 2020, and I make that bold. Putting the dates is important because that shows that your resume is updated, when you've been doing what, how you've sort of developed your interests. And you could write, say, May 2020 or Feb 2020 or December 2020, but if you just want to write the year, that's fine too. After that, I make sort of another line, and then I write my second, like my previous education, which was Kodaikanal International School, Kodaikanal, India. Here, because the education is already over, I write 2016 to 2020. So if a particular task is already done, but it's still relevant to keep in your resume, I would suggest writing the start and the end date, both of them. After that, I write that I studied the International Baccalaureate, the Middle Years program, and I also mention my GPA. It's up to you if you want to mention your GPA in your resume. A lot of employers don't look for your GPA, but if you're a school student wanting to get accepted into a university, then I would definitely recommend writing down your cumulative GPA. You can write them down in bullet points. You can also make them italics if you want to. Well, after that column, I would recommend writing awards and honors. This is basically a list of all your achievements, and I have again dated them and written all of them in bullet points. You could either write the most current one, say the one you got in the year 2020 on the top, or you could write the most significant or important one that your employers would want to read first. I mention them date-wise, meaning I started 2020 and I end with 2016 or 2017. And an example of this would be awarded the Award of Excellence in Theatre Arts in Grade 12 2020. And you list all of the awards and honors that you've received here. A good thing to note here is you don't need to just write the awards and honors that you've received as a part of your university or school. Also ones that you got from external sources, like an external competition that you attended, or if you took a course from Coursera or anything like that which you think is significant to your resume, mention that down. Another side note to this would be, don't just write anything in your resume that, okay, you did baking one Sunday and now you're a baking expert and you write that down in your resume. Don't do that. Actually write things that matter and are significant to you, to your employer, and that show off your particular skill set. After mentioning your awards and honors, you can sort of delve deeper into your main activities. Starting with, for me, would be National Honor Society. I draw the line again and I write all the main events that I sort of participated in when I was part of that particular community. It is very important to write down a leadership position if you had a leadership position in a particular club or committee. Say I was Secretary of NHS for 1 year in grade 11, so I noted that down as my first or second point because leadership positions, let's face it, are very important. After that, I go on to other initiatives like school archives, or the main one for my resume would be theatrical pursuits. Now, if you have one particular interest in which you've done a variety of things, for example, direction, research, script writing, acting, other projects, internships and training, and workshops and competitions, I would recommend breaking each of them down. So you start with theatrical pursuits, draw the line. Direction, italicize and bold that so that your employers can understand that, oh, this is a subsection of your main section, which was theatrical pursuits. Under direction, I wrote directed a self-written play, The Trials of Honesty, the year 2019. Under research, I write all my research projects. Under script writing, I write script writing, acting, cast as Dorothy, blah blah blah, for all the given years from 2016 to 2020, and end with workshops and competitions. So I would recommend dividing and sort of subletting your whole resume into different parts like this. Well, so after you've written all your activities down and sort of subletted them, as I said before, I would definitely recommend ending your resume with two very simple and basic things: skills and interests. Skills could be anything from writing to acting to singing to photography. Interests are things that you are interested in and have a particular skill set but have not necessarily really dived deeper into them. For me, that would be traveling or playing table tennis. It could be anything for you. Just mention that, because you never know where your skill sets might be needed and wanted by an employer, because sometimes you really don't know what they're exactly looking for. So it's always a good thing to mention it if you have the space. As we reach the end of this video, I would like to mention, please always constantly update your resume. Say you finished a course and you think that's important, write it down, because you never know when somebody will ask for your resume, and if it's not updated, then it does not create a good impression. So always constantly update your resume. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope my tips helped you and now you can create the desired resume that you've always wanted to create. Please do like and share my content and do subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next week. Bye.